I'm gonna pause the recording.
Starts at 8 a.m.
Actually, if you are a contestant for the contest, your arrival time is 7:45, no later.
Okay.
You need to be checking in with the Zoom call and with me to make sure that all of your tech stuff is working. I actually will be on the call at 7:30, setting up what I call breakout rooms that we'll be using. You'll all be in a waiting room until I get the rooms ready. And once they're ready, then I'm going to let the contestants and the functionaries in first, because there's processes that you guys have to go through, and I want to make sure that's all in place before I let in the audience. So that's basically how I'm working it.
Including the order of speeches.
The order of the speeches will happen at 8 o'clock. It will happen just before the contest is gavelled in. So just like in a physical contest, we will be choosing the speaking order just prior to the contest master gaveling in the contest.
Great.
And just like in a physical contest, the speakers who are speaking are required to be there before the contest is gavelled in. Because we don't have a physical lectern to bang on, the contest master is actually going to announce such and such a contest for such and such an area is beginning now. That's gaveling in. So if you have not arrived yet in your virtual space, you will not be eligible to continue. Okay?
Thank you.
CirceD, those times were for F62, right?
I'm sorry, say that again, Terry.
Those times you were just quoting to Jeff were F62?
I believe so. That's the first contest that's happening is F62, then F63. Yeah, I think so. Don't quote me on that.
I think F63 isn't starting till about 10:30.
Yeah, it is. It's basically 15 minutes before the contest is scheduled to begin. The participants need to be there. And actually, if you think about it, that's pretty good, because at a physical contest, you'd have to be there anywhere up to an hour before. So this is actually, helping you a little bit.
So once we log in and we're online, we're here for the duration of the day through all the different
You can
contests.
You can stay, or you can drop off after your contest. It's up to you. It's the same as a regular contest. If you decide you're going to leave, you just quit Zoom and you have left. So,
But
okay.
even if our contest isn't until later in the day, we all still have to be there no later than
Oh, no. If your contest doesn't start until 10, your check-in time is 9:45.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
if you wanted to watch the earlier contest, you're welcome to come early, but you won't be checked in as a contestant until it's time for your contest.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and you're not having to come at 7:45 for a 10:30 contest. That would be very bad of me.
And when are those contest times going to be officially announced?
They're on the calendar on District 52. So you can
so
go
you know
look at
the
it.
order, you just don't know how many speakers are in each contest.
Because I don't have that in front of me. I'm looking at a screen of faces right now, so I don't have that in front of me. Okay, let's talk about Zoom for just a moment. All of you have signed on to this virtual environment that we're using called Zoom. I gave you a link. Each contest will have its own unique link for that contest. So if you are a contestant for a contest, you will have access to a link. You'll be getting that information via email. If you lose it, or you panic and you can't find it, or somehow your email didn't send it to you, go to district52.org, click on the contest you're supposed to participate in, and the Zoom link is in the contest, in the calendar. So you don't have to panic, it's there. You can get online. Every single virtual contest will have a tech chair, somebody who is in charge of the technology that we are all using for this contest. And in our district, we're using Zoom for every contest. So you'll get familiar with it as you use it. The next person that is the main functionary in a virtual contest is our contest master. Just like in a physical contest, like I told you, they will gavel the meeting in, they will pick the winners, and I'll go over how that works. Picking the winner is basically a little different, so I want to explain that in just a minute. We have a chief judge, where when you think about the chief judges in a physical contest, the area directors have gone out and found someone to be their chief judge. Because this virtual environment, number one, is tricky, and number two, we don't want to lose anybody during this contest, meaning that we don't want to transmit bad information, have you lose your position in the queue, have you not get the information you need, have your ballots counted wrong. There are a lot of things that are floating in the air in our virtual environment. So we have decided that I have two right now, two chief judges that will be alternating throughout the weekends doing the contests. If a chief judge is a member of a club where a contestant is competing, that person will not be chief judge, the other one will. Should we run into a situation where there is no one because both of them have contestants in the contest, I will have somebody else, hang on, I gotta let Agnes in. I will have somebody else who can act as chief judge, okay? So either I will have, maybe I'll reach out to Marco to be the tech chair and I'll step in as chief judge, or I'll be tech chair and I'll ask him to be chief judge. We'll figure it out. But I will know all of that way before your contest begins. The next group of people that are in a contest are your judges. The difference for the judges in a physical contest, the difference for the judges in this virtual contest is that they will have their ballot at their house. They will be filling out that ballot and filling out the people, the winners that they've chosen at the bottom. They will still tear it off, but guess what? The chief judge or the ballot counters aren't there to pick it up. So those ballots will be photographed with their smartphone and sent to the chief judge. And because the chief judge will have only those judges, only those 6 people sending him the ballot bottom, he will have those ballots in his phone, and he will then transmit them to the next group of people in our contest, which are the ballot counters. The ballot counters are going to meet in a room, a breakout room, so to speak, where the chief judge will enter, and the chief judge and the ballot counters will go inside this room and speak just like we are, face to face, counting ballots. Once those ballots are counted and the chief judge has a winner, he or she will transmit that information to the contest master. And because we have in the rule book the ability for the timers and the ballot counters to challenge a winner, he will probably also be required to text the winner to the timers and to the ballot counters.
Quick question about the contest master.
Yes.
Is the official title contest master as opposed to contest chair?
Yes, that's 2 different positions. The contest master can be the contest chair, but the contest master is basically the toastmaster for the contest.
Who will we be acknowledging, the chair or the master?
The chair, you won't, unless they're the same person, you won't be talking to the contest chair. The contest chair is the person who gathers up the functionaries, reaches out to me for a contest date, and we work that schedule out. They also pick people to judge, they pick people to be ballot counters and things like that. That's the contest chair. When a contest chair also wants to be the Toastmaster of the contest, they become the contest chair. So that's just a privilege that the contest chair has. So we'll know. You might be talking to the same person.
We'd be acknowledging the contest master generally.
Correct. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. The timers in a virtual contest need to let the speaker know how much time or where they're at in their timing. In a physical contest, you have a timer sitting in a chair right in front of you. And believe it or not, in a virtual contest, you do too. The timer is on a video just like you are. And the timer, when you get to 5 minutes, will hold up a card like this in front of their webcam for you to see. When you get to the next position in your talk, they will hold up this card for you to see. And when you've come to the 7-minute period, they will hold up this card for you to see. And they will leave this card up, just like they do in a physical contest, until you stop talking. There are 2 timers, a card timer doing the cards, and another timer reading the stopwatch, writing down the time that you stopped talking, okay? Because that is the official time. The timer that's holding up the cards does not watch to see when you stop. They're only listening for you to stop and watching the stopwatch to change the card colors, period. They're not paying attention to how many minutes you have left or anything like that. Their job is to watch the timer and put up cards. They're not even supposed to be listening to you, to the content of your speech. A good timer is just hearing the very first utterance you make and starting this green at 5 minutes. And then the yellow at 6 and the red at 7. They are not doing anything else, just that. The other timer, who's now in a completely different location, is writing down the time that it took you to finish your speech.
Circe, can I interject a question, please?
Sure. Hi, Tammy.
Hi. Can I use my own?
No, and I'll tell you why. We
Yeah.
have decided, because several people in Toastmasters and in general are colorblind, and if we have a solid color, they can't tell what it says, so we're using this.
Okay, I'll print those out.
You can? You
Yes.
have that ability?
Yes, I do.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so we have one timer.
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
So they're just listening for the empty space when we stop talking, and they assume it's not a long pause, that it's the end of the speech.
Well, a lot of Toastmasters make a gesture like this to the Toastmaster or the Contest Master. Or they say, Mr. Contest Master or Madam Contest Master. They indicate that their talk is over. But yes, it could be a problem if your speech has a really long pause, but it's not the end. It could be a problem. You could be marked as ending before you end, or they could mark you as ending long after you end. If you remember in the rule book, the contest, your overtime, if you go 1 second over 7 minutes and 30 seconds. 7 minutes, 31 seconds, you are overtime and you are disqualified. That's the rule.
A comment to the Toastmaster or the contest master is probably the best way to go then?
Yes.
A
And make
verbal
sure-
acknowledgement that the speech is over?
Yes.
Thank
Yes. Okay.
Another quick question on the timing. If somebody is short, I heard 15 seconds short of 5 minutes. Are they given that grace period? Or
I think it's 4 minutes, 30 seconds to 7 minutes, 30 seconds is the rule in the rule book. Okay.
Thank you.
And that's for both of our contests, which makes running these contests very easy.
Circe,
Yes.
I'm hearing some background noise. Would you mute everyone, please?
Okay. Most people are, but yes, I think I can do that. Now I'm going to mute everybody. And if you have a question, just wave at me and I'll unmute you. Okay. If you're not showing video, chat with me. Okay. Okay, Loopy, you're having trouble tonight. Okay. Went over the ballot counters. We don't have a sergeant at arms per se in a virtual contest. The tech chair is now the new title for the sergeant at arms. As the technical chair, I will probably be the technical chair on all 4 contests coming up on Saturday, and I'm going to see how that goes. Marco will probably be on the call, on the contest calls too, and he and I will go over the things that change that are not the same, because if we decide we're going to do 2 sets of contests, he and I both will have to be tech chairs, one in one set of contests and one in the other. The contest itself is dependent on the talent and the concentration of the tech chair, because they are going to be listening for and watching for things that go wrong with the contest. For example, if a contestant is speaking and their audio cuts out, or their internet cuts out and they're still going because they don't know that they are not being seen, that they would have to, the contest would have to come to an end for that contestant until we figure out what's wrong. The tech chair is in charge of that. Now, I don't have my cards, but the tech chair will have cards like these, only they're going to say things like stop, bad audio, no video, you know, that kind of thing, so that we can transmit a message to the contestant that they'll be able to see and get the contest paused, just like you would at a physical contest if something happened. You'd have to stop the contest, wait, and begin again.
Circe,
Yes.
if I can ask, if I'm to show that sign, am I showing it to the speaker or to the timer?
To the webcam, like this.
Or okay, how does that communication ends up with the speaker who is looking at the timer's messages? And
That's a very good question. When you, we're going to talk about the view that the speakers will have in just a moment, but in every view on Zoom, the tech chair is going to be the very first person in the room. Therefore, their tile is in the top left. When the tech chair needs you to see something, they will turn their video on and show that card, and you'll see it as part of the top row or the side row. You'll see that. But that's a good question, because I thought that through and I was wondering how that was going to work. But it does show even if you're in what we call speaker view.
so if the contestant is further away speaking, that's such a small tile to see.
I know.
Okay, and then also timer should also be able to communicate this message in a larger view if it's too small for the tech chair to communicate.
What'll happen is the tech chair will break in audibly and tell the people to stop the contest.
Okay.
And then we'll back up several seconds so that the person speaking doesn't lose time, and we'll begin again as soon as we're ready. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Hang on one sec.
Seriously, let me reiterate what you just said. They will continue from where they are. They don't get to start over.
According to the new exceptions in the speech rule book, which are for virtual contests like we're having, the speaker begins at the place they left off. So the tech chair, the person who's really paying attention to what's going on, will have to know where in the speech the speaker was and allow them to back up to a reasonable place to begin again, okay? Judges will be warned that if a contest is stopped for any technical difficulty, that this will happen, and they're not to mark the contestant down for having to pick up pause, take a breath, whatever it takes to get back on track. Imagine for just a moment if the power went out in the community room where you had a contest. All the lights went off. You'd have the same situation. So this is what we're using for our break in the contest. If something happens, it's just like the power going out. Okay?
Under the rules, don't they get a 15-second stretch there? I mean, like,
It's,
if
you know
they,
what
in
it
the physical,
says?
would they?
You know what it says? It says a few seconds added to their talk. So let's say, for example, their talk is 7 minutes, 25 seconds, and they've had a break. We would allow them another 3 to 5 seconds on top of their talk. They'd still be within time. If they went to 7 minutes, 31 seconds, and we added 5 seconds to it, they're not overtime, okay? But it depends on how much time went by before we got their attention. The tech chair is the person who's in charge of that. They're going to be the most responsible for the speech contest going the way it's supposed to, which is why, for the most part, I will be doing, it will be on every contest, and I will be helping out as tech chair, even if somebody else is the primary, okay? Because I know how that can be. Not only can it be frustrating, but it's also an important contest. We're not doing, you know, just any old contest. This is an important one. We need to make sure it goes well. Okay. All right. Terry, for a stop, does the tech chair tell you the time when you stopped or the words that they last heard? Words only. We're not transmitting time to you in a contest. You're not seeing a clock that shows a countdown timer. So we would not be sending you a time that you're at. We would just tell you, start back at where you said XXX, just before that. And then you'd have to figure out where you are in the talk, give yourself a moment, and then begin talking again. As soon as you begin talking, we will start the clock again. Okay? All right. All righty. This contest is going to be fun. You guys are going to have a ball. You'd be surprised how fun this is going to be. What I encourage all of you to do, now about 50% of you have no video. What I encourage all of you to do, whether you are a judge, a ballot counter, the chief judge, is to have your video turned on. The speakers are going to see faces in the video, in the screen. They're going to see your faces and your reactions. We are going to allow the audio to be on. Now, at the beginning of every contest, the contest master, as part of their protocol to the audience and to everyone, is to tell them, if you feel like you might have too much background noise, let's say you have a dog or you have somebody cooking at your house that's not watching the contest, we are going to advise you to turn your audio off. But for the most part, our humorous contestants want to hear laughter. Our international contestants want to hear responses, want to hear oohs and ahs and things that happen when they're delivering their speech. We have decided to leave the audio on. Should you find that distracting in this call or in any other Zoom call you're in, because there will be a couple more, you might decide as a contestant, please mute everybody. It's your choice. I'm not going to force you to have everybody aware of you and talking, but you need to tell the tech chair, I do not want anybody's microphone on during my speech. That's fine with me. But keep in mind that it will be like you being in a closet giving your speech. You won't have any reaction. You'll see faces, but you won't have any audible reaction. When you are on video, believe it or not, if you move around, you're seen moving around, and that is distracting to people looking at you. We're going to talk to each other in a few minutes about how to make your view one person, and so that the person that you're looking at is that primary person you'll need to talk to. However, the other tiles, the other little windows with people in them, if people are moving around or they're picking up papers and it's doing this across the video, it's going to be distracting off in our peripheral vision. So this is the part of the virtual contest that you have to think about when you're on your camera. If you feel that this is a time when you have to get up and take care of something, or you can't stay on the contest because you're not participating, you can turn your video off. The control for that is at the bottom of the screen. You just highlight your tile and then your video, like this, goes away when you click on it and comes back like this when you click again. So you can go away, have your picture or your name up there, and then come back when you're ready to sit still and enjoy the contest. So let's talk about the particulars of a virtual contest that are different besides the ones I've mentioned already. The first one is, let's pretend for just a moment that you are a contestant. I know I have contestants on this call, so this will be significant to them. When you are going to speak, you are going to pick the tile of the timer, and we will have the timer put up something in front of their webcam like this. They're not doing a particular card, but they're going to show you that they're the timer by showing the cards. That's the tile that you want in front of your face in the center of the screen when you're giving your speech. And the way that you do that is you highlight the tile, or you click on the tile of the person that you want to be in the middle, where you just see that person. You click on the 3 dots in their upper right corner, and you choose Pin Video. Now, if you will all find my tile and do that, you will be able to only see me in the middle of the screen. And hang on one second, I'm going to unmute you. Is anybody not able
Trader's
to do that?
closing 2 hours early.
I'm able to see you.
7. They usually close at 9.
Circe, you're pinned on mine.
Okay. Anybody else not be able to do that? Okay. Muting you back. Okay, so now when you're a contestant, you're pinning the timer. You're going to see the cards. It's going to be in front of your face. There's no doubt. It's actually a better situation than the physical room, because in the physical room, you've got a lot of space to move around and you're not seeing that. In a virtual room, you're going to just see that, and you're probably going to keep on time much better than you would in a physical contest. Ballot counters. I'm going to practice with you for just a moment.
So we're literally playing to the cards then, as opposed to a person's face. The speech is to whatever card is on the screen after 5 minutes, right? So we're not looking at a person, we're looking at a yellow, green, or red card.
This is up at 5 minutes,
Right.
Okay? It stays up. Whether we were in a physical room or somewhere else, this card would stay up. At 6 minutes, this happens.
Right.
At 7 minutes, this happens, and this stays up until you stop talking.
So we're looking at the timer's face until that first green card comes up.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, my camera is at the top of my computer. So would I just look at that so it looks like I'm looking at the person rather than the video screen itself?
You probably should think of the camera as an audience member and deliver your speech to the audience. But remember, it's only one audience member. So if you're constantly staring at the camera, you're going to look bored. You're not going to look like you're really delivering a speech. If you are delivering the speech, you are basically back and you are giving a speech. So you should be delivering it to all the faces you see.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I am going to grab Marcia Bruce Bush, and I'm going to put you in a breakout room called ballot counters. I'm going to put Richard Dixon in there. And I'm
It
going
says,
to,
my screen says join. Should I click on that?
yes, please. And I'm going to put, James, you're going to be my other ballot counter for tonight, okay? Now, the three of you, I don't know if you can hear me anymore. Aha, they can't, but they can hear each other. Let me see what this says. Okay. They're in a counting room where they can count ballots, talk to each other, see each other's faces, etc., and they can leave the room when they're ready. Okay? What that does is it privatizes the ballot counting. They're not in your room. You can have your speaker interviews. The district director can make announcements, district announcements during the ballot counting, and all of that can happen without anyone getting disrupted by the ballot counting. Okay? Now, I know I said during the last call we couldn't look away because it would seem like we're reading. Well, that's true. As a speaker, you may be tempted to have your speech on a notepad behind the webcam. This is really not a good idea because if it looks like you're reading, you're not going to be delivering a well-fashioned speech. Judges will be told to mark you down for that. Should you be physically reading notes like we can see them, we'll be marking you down for that. Contestants will be seen from the waist up, unless, like some of our humorous speakers, they are needing to be seen all the way around. They're needing to be seen. Let me get these people out of here. Let's see. Let me see if I can move these people back. Okay.
I only went to breakout room 1 and Marcia never joined me.
Okay, breakout room 1, it's not the right one. It was the ballot counters room. So you were probably in the wrong room.
Okay, that's what came up and I joined it. You want to try
Okay.
that again?
Okay, let's see. Do I have Marcia on this? She's in breakout rooms in progress. This is my challenge for tonight, just so you know. I'm going to move you to the ballot counters. Okay, can you see them? I'm not wearing my glasses because there would be too much glare. Others can't see my eyes. See, yeah, I know. I have a lot of glare in my glasses. I know, but I can't see to read if I don't have them on. Sorry about that. Okay, I do not see. Hang on one second. Move to ballot counters. Move to ballot counters. Okay, they should be in there together. Move to, okay, that's fine. Hang on one second.
I am back in the main room here, and so you need to send me back to the ballot counter.
Circe, you're muted. We cannot hear you.
Yeah, Circe and Marcia are both muted.
Muted. I'm not sure the breakout room is something we want to do. That was a test, just so you know. We have to figure out what works best. And I was talking with Maurice this afternoon, and I told him we were going to try this. But for me, it's a little clunky. I think it causes more problems than it's worth. So I may ditch that, but we'll talk more later on that.
It was horrible not being able to hear anything going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I don't love James, but we were sitting there.
Chit-chatting and you had nobody with you. I get that.
Yeah.
The other option is to have the ballot counters to put their ballot, their counting, their tally on a sheet and send it, excuse me, send it to the chief judge so that the validation, you send it to each other so that the validation can happen. I will talk to my chief judge and I will talk to the ballot counters and we will figure out what works best.
Why is it that you really think we need to be in a separate room? Because
Well, because you're going to be counting ballots.
out loud.
Yeah, not a good idea.
No.
Yeah, so you may not, if you're in the same room, you're going to mute your microphone, because if you're one of those people like me and you're looking at things and you're going 1, 2, you're going to be heard. That's not good. So you'll have to mute your microphone if you're not in a ballot counting room.
Seriously,
Yes.
I had created a ballot counting room schedule already for this first F62.
Right.
And I was going to send that link then to the 2 ballot counters when they were known. They could be in the room and they, we could put a general chat out, okay, ballot counters to the ballot room or whatever. And they
Right.
could talk to
That's
that room.
just as tricky as the breakout room, because they have to leave this one. They can't do 2 Zoom calls. They have to leave this one and go to another one. I will work that out with you. I'll take
Okay,
2 ballot
that's fine.
counters, you and I, and we'll work it out. And maybe
Okay.
Marco, because he's pretty good at this stuff. Okay. Do you guys have any questions so far? I'm going to unmute you so you can ask. Do you have any questions so far?
I'm good.
Okay.
I don't know if you covered this earlier, CirceD, but the speaker view to have for the judges, especially to have
Yes.
speaker view up.
We haven't talked about that yet. We just talked about the contestants view. Okay. Okay. Just like you heard that phone, that's exactly the background noise we don't want. If you have a landline phone that potentially could ring, turn your mic off. Just watch. If you want to say something or laugh or smile at a contestant's thing, make a face, make hands gestures. But if your space is not quiet, make sure you're aware of that and mute your microphone. So we talked about the contestants pinning a window of the timer, but the judges, every judge in the room needs to pin the speaker. They need to be able to only see in the center of their screen the speaker's window, because that's who you're judging. And if you're not looking at that speaker, how could you possibly judge them? So as a judge, you're going to be responsible for paying attention to everything you would be paying attention to in a physical contest: facial, body gestures, demeanor, vocal variety, all of those things. So make sure your audio is clear and you're hearing everything being said by the speaker and you're seeing the speaker. Okay?
CirceD,
Yes.
I have a quick question. How do I mute you for a second?
You can't. I'm the host.
Okay.
The only person that can mute me is me. Okay. There is no rule.
Quick question
Huh?
about the audio. If someone has a dog barking or something that is distracting and they're a contestant, are they demoted any points for not being gracious and controlling that audio that could possibly disrupt the performer?
I don't know how to answer that question. I know that if I were a judge and I couldn't hear a speaker because their dog was barking, I'd probably mark them down. But that's just because I couldn't hear them, because they didn't do anything to make themselves heard. However, they're going to know their dog's barking. and they may just pause and scoot the dog out of the room and continue. That pause would be a much better break in their speech than having that dog bark for the rest of their speech. But think about it. You're a contestant, put the dog outside or in the bedroom or somewhere else so that it's not in your way.
No, I
Okay.
meant a contestant that's listening to the speech while someone else is talking. And you hear that barking from somebody
Okay.
listening to the speech.
Anyone who has a dog needs to mute their mic, period. If you've got a dog and that dog is free roaming in your house, mute your mic. That's just, you know, that's the same as the sergeant at arms saying, please don't leave the room, don't come or go during a contestant's speech. You can do that during the 1 minute of silence. It's the same.
Thank
Get
you
your
very
dog
much.
out of the room until that 1 minute of silence, go pet the dog, come back, and then mute the dog. You know, that's the same.
Yep.
Thank you
And
so
it's, I just want to say, it's also same as asking members to silence their cell phones. So in this case,
Exactly.
we will be
Silence the
silencing.
dog.
Well, it's also background noise that
It
could be
is.
children or any other activity. It could
Right.
be a lawnmower. It could
Yeah.
be. So these microphones come today with background canceling, but we don't have that.
It's
But
not
that's okay.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the contest master will be talking to the audience about this before the contest begins. Before they gavel in, they'll be doing two things. One, picking the speaking order and telling the audience how to be courteous during this virtual contest. So they will be talking about this background noise and telling people, if you have any thought that you might have background noise, mute your microphone. That's going to be a simple thing. We will just do that. Let's talk about for a minute how your speaking order is picked. We had a couple of ideas, but we landed on one that's really low tech and very fast. The contest master will have the names of every single contestant that is going to participate, whether they're there or not. They will put those names in a hat. The contest master, before they gavel in, will announce to the audience, we are picking the speaking order. Now, why would they announce it to the audience where in most cases we do that at a contestant briefing? Because we're all together in this virtual contest. I don't need another breakout room or an opportunity for technology to go haywire. So guess what? You're all going to see the contestant order. They will take a hat, names in the hat. They will pick one at a time the contestants. The first name pulled is the first speaker. Second speaker. Third speaker. Fourth speaker, and so on. That will be the same throughout all the contests. It will not be any different just because you have a different idea. We are doing it that way in every contest so that every contestant knows going into a contest, that's the way it's done. If you have it different, it just confuses things. So hat, names, speaker order. Let's say a contestant is running late. Let's say they got caught in traffic. They're not in front of their computer. Their video isn't on. They have until the contest is gaveled to make it on time, right? Well, if they make it on time before it's gaveled, they take the position that their name was pulled. If their name was pulled out of the hat last, they're the last speaker. We do not change that just because they're not there to hear their name. At the time the contest is gaveled in, the speaking order will be repeated. The audience will be told to silence their background noise or to, make sure they're in a quiet room. The contestants will be reminded one at a time to pin their timer video. The timers will be reminded to pin the judges will be reminded to pin the speaker video, and everybody else can pick gallery view or any view that they want. Okay, so those people, the contestants, the judges, the contestants, the judges will be pinning each okay, let's start over. The contestants pin the timer. The judges pin the contestants. Every other person Oh, and the judges pin the contestants. Every other person can pick. It doesn't matter. The tech chair will be the only person breaking the contest, stopping it. If there is a problem that somebody else sees, you will have my phone number or the phone number of the tech chair to text to stop the contest. If you text me and you say, I can't hear the speaker's audio, but I can, I'm not stopping the contest. I have to assume that the person who's telling me that lost their transmission, not the general room. If I get it from a couple people, I will stop it, we'll move it back, and we'll start over. Okay, is that clear? Everybody got that? I have a note up here on chat that says contestants are not allowed to use notes. I have never seen that in the rule book. If you can find it in the rule book, please send it to me. I've never seen it. But I do know you get marked down if you do. And I've seen contestants use notes. It's not the way to win, but there is no rule. It doesn't say that you can't. Just know this, you're not delivering a international ready speech or a winning speech for humor if you're reading notes. You're just not. Okay? All right, visible to all. Okay. Agnes, I don't understand your question, visible to all. So hang on, unmute yourself. Okay, go ahead.
It was at the time that it was said, so now we're past that point, so that's why it's not clear. But when the ballots are being picked, is that visible to all of the?
Yes,
Okay.
We're going to make it visible to all. They'll pick the name, they'll show it on the video camera. That's the first person next, and so everybody's going to see it. And we'll do it slowly enough that the judges can write the names down, but it will be repeated as well. So thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay. And let's see. Any other questions? Anybody?
Yeah, I've got a quick question.
Sure.
So you hold up my name and let's just say I'm first.
Right.
And so then I need to be in position. I need to immediately be in position ready to speak then, because then the person's going to say my name, the name of my speech, and my name, and that's it. You start just like a regular contest, right?
Just like a regular contest, just as close to a regular contest as we can possibly get it, yes. So you'll have that introductory time that where the contest master is repeating the names and the order. They will be talking to the audience. That's your time to pin the timer and to get ready to speak, yes.
Perfect, thank
Well,
you.
if I may, remember, in a real contest, we repeat the speaking order probably twice, and then we go, Chief Judge, are we ready to rock and roll?
Yes.
So I'm going to say during the reading of each speaker's name, and then Chief Judge, are we ready to go? I believe that should give you enough time for the first speaker to set up your laptop, to set up your speaking area, so you have plenty of time to position yourself. And again, good point. Being a contest master, I will take that under consideration so that we didn't go A and B. Okay, you're on. So
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
But also, every contestant is to be in the contest room 15 minutes before we start. We're testing your video. We're testing your audio. We are telling you need to back up. You're too close to the video camera. You need to back up. Speakers aren't going to be sitting down for these contests. You're standing, just like you would in a physical contest. Your video should see you from the waist up, unless you need your feet showing, and then you'll be backed up further. You can use a Bluetooth headset if you need to back up enough that your audio may not pick up enough. If you want a test of that, contact me. Set up your laptop, set up your audio, and tell me you want to test. I'll set up a quick video conference and we'll test that for you if you need that before the 15 minutes. But in the 15 minutes, only the contestants will be allowed in the room. I will, unweight you and allow you in the room. And I'll be testing everybody. I'll be looking at all of you and saying, okay, Jeff, you're not ready. Your audio is crooked, or you're not, it's not clear. Check your audio. And then go on to the next person while you do that. And then I'm going to be going through everyone and checking their their sound, and how can I see you? How good do I see you? Is the light too dark? Because if immediately you sign on and you're in a dark room, you have to correct that before you start speaking. So,
All right, thank
okay,
you.
so that's why the contestants are in before everybody else.
Very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Richard
Okay.
has a question.
Yes.
He's
Okay.
muted,
Who is?
Richard.
How are we going to designate the 1 minute of silence?
The contest master will announce we're having a 1 minute silence, and everybody keeps their mouth shut. That's what we do. Same as in a physical contest.
And a timer will run that down?
Yes, the timer will run that down.
And
Okay.
just
Also,
and
you
if I-
intend to hold a separate judging, for a separate training for judges?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I do. Because they're going to have to practice texting you pictures and things like that. So yes. And I have a list of the judges. So that's what we'll do. Okay. Now-
Richard, what I plan to do with that 1 minute of silence, I will just like in a regular contest, I go, timers, may I have 1 minute of silence? So who's ever doing the cards, they're just going to start their watch, and then they could just hold up the red card and I go, okay, it's time to continue now. Our second speaker is.
Yep. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, so the things that we have to still go over for those of you that are on the call as functionaries is I need ballot counters and Richard, and I will talk to the 3 people together. We'll figure that out. Timers, I need to know that you have a set of these. If you don't have them and can't print them, I need to know that today. I know Tammy's a timer, right? Tammy, you're a timer?
Yes, 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 yes.
You're a card timer, okay. And you will have a set of cards, so I don't need to mail one to you.
Is it okay if I just print the word red and then put put the red paper on the lower half?
As long as it looks similar to this, yes, but the words can't be red too, because if somebody's colorblind, they're not gonna see it. So
Okay,
please
got
make
it.
words black, okay? All right. I will make sure that every timer has what they need and that ballot counters have this extra training. I will figure that out.
Thank you.
We will not start the contest on Saturday without having that in place. Know this, during the first contest, we may come across some glitch. It's in that glitch that we will figure out what to do. So one of the reasons we're having all these calls is so that people can give me input. All of your input is important to me. All of your participation in these calls is helpful to fine-tune the contest and make it as close as we possibly can to working smoothly. So I appreciate all of you being a participant. There are many reasons for joining other contests, watching them, because gee whiz, you might find out how somebody else is doing their video before you do. You never know. Just have fun with this. Participate in as many contests as an audience member as you wish. We have lots of room in the Zoom calls for that. I am using technology to make sure the participants, the functionaries, and the contestants are in the room first, so they have priority. But if they drop their call, they'll end up at the end. So it might make it harder on them. But those things, we'll figure them out as we go, okay? So anybody have if we have any issues, we'll figure out how to fix them. How's that? That's my promise. We'll figure out how to fix them, okay? If there are no more questions, I'm going to call this call to a close, and it will be recorded. I mean, it has been recorded. Agnes, you want to say something? Yeah. Hi.
Hi. So we talked about the district announcements during the time of the interviews and so on. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Sure. The contest master in the first 2 contests is Maurice, and we had a conversation today. He will actually introduce whoever is going to do the district announcements, either you or John, not me because I'm on the tech chair. And he will contact you, you'll unmute, and you will have your time to talk and give district announcements. When you're done, he will go to the contestant interviews. So it'll be coming first. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
So if it follows, as you said, humorous will go first, then
Mhm.
there'll be a break, and then international will go, and then the award winners from both categories will be announced at the end.
Nope. The way a contest is run according to Toastmasters International is a contest begins and ends as one entity. You have a humorous contest. You have, let's say, 2 contestants. They compete, ballots are counted, a winner is announced. Then you go to international, they have their contest, the ballots are counted, the winner is announced. We have an announcement of winners immediately following the ballot counting.
Great, thank you.
Okay, yep. It is the way Toastmasters view this as fair. Richard, yes.
And each area is run and completed. So the humorous F52 is run separately. If you were doing with 2 at the same time, then F63 would be run and completed, right? Each area has to be completed in itself.
Actually, no. A contest has to be completed in itself. So if 2 areas got together and they want to do humor, and then international, they could do that. As long as the contest ends for this area with the announcement of the winners. We don't care. When we have two area directors getting together to do their contest on the same day, and they decide, gee whiz, we'd like to run all our humor contests in the morning, first, and then do the international after that, I'm fine with that. But it has to be Area 1's humor contest, beginning, announcement of the winner, Area 2's humor contest, beginning, announcement of the winner. Then we can go back to Area 1 for international and Area 2 for international. But according to TI, according to the contest people, we consider a contest complete when the winners are announced. It doesn't matter how you do those contests, as long as the one contest is complete with a winning, an announcement winner, okay? More chat. Okay. Yes, we do need to talk about this. There are forms that you've all been sent. If you were on my mailing list, I sent the eligibility form and the contestant bio. You must send that in to the contest master for your contest. Your contest master should have already contacted you. You should know who that person is. If you don't, email me and I'll tell you. But there are 2 forms that every speaker must fill out. The eligibility form that says you are eligible to speak for that contest, and the bio. The bio is used by the contest master to introduce you and to ask you questions. If you don't have them, go to our virtual contest page. There's now a button that Linnea put up for us. You can download those forms for yourself. If you can't fill them in on your computer because your computer doesn't do that, handwrite them in, take a picture of them if you don't have a scanner, and send it back to your contest master. If you do not have that paperwork submitted before the contest begins, you are also not eligible, because that's the second piece of the eligibility part, showing up on time and having your paperwork in hand. The only thing a contestant who shows up late misses out on is the briefing. And in our case, that briefing is your 15 minutes before the contest begins. So those forms have to be into your contest master before Saturday, if you're competing on Saturday. Okay, Jeff?
There was just a chat from Maurice. So Maurice is sending us all those forms. I have not gotten anything.
Okay, he will be sending them later tonight. He was on a different call this evening. I was being a technician out.
Wait. If I may, sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
So Jeff, I'm only sending them to F62 and F63. So right now, I'll be sending them later today to Bill Jeffrey and to Terry.
Okay.
Tracy, I
Yes.
put the
I
link,
don't
or
know that
everybody, I put the link to the page with all the forms in chat.
Oh, yes, I see that. There is
Yes.
a link that says District 52 virtual contest. That page has the link to download the forms. There's no reason anybody shouldn't be able to find them. Now, if you do not get the form by Thursday, you should go to District 52 and download it. If for any reason you can't download it, please contact me, contact somebody in your area, get the form done. Don't let that be the reason you can't compete, okay? Anybody else? I'm gonna unmute you guys so you can really talk if you have anything. Okay, anybody else?
And if I may say, since this is our first time out, do you think there's going to be problems? Yeah, sure, there may be a problem. So,
No, Maurice, there's not gonna be any problem.
it's going to be perfect.
That's right.
But having experienced virtual meetings a bunch of times, it's also a lot of fun. And that's
It
one thing I'm going to stress during my contest. We're going to have fun. Because that's the idea here, to do our skill sets for contest and also to have fun. So I just want everybody to be ready that, hey, is this going to be perfect? No, it's going to be fun.
Yes, and I'm expecting to have a really good time. So if you want to join me and have a really good time, watch the contest.
I have a question.
Yes,
Are the ballot counters and you getting together to figure this out, and the chief judge prior to Saturday?
oh yes, we're probably going to do that very soon.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got to figure it out. I'm going to pick a couple of people that aren't ballot counters. What I really don't want to do is tell you one thing and then change my mind and then tell you something else. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to get you together and show you how it works. So, okay. I just don't like changing your mind, you know, making you hear all this difference. I want to make sure it's exactly the way it's going to work, and then we just do it that way. And if it's, you know, it'll work. I have faith. It'll work.
Talk
I
a
have
little
been
bit
asked.
about the trophy and the certificates.
Certificates, we can't hand you a certificate, and we certainly can't hand you your first place trophy, but first place trophies and certificates will be mailed to the winners. Okay.
Sophie, when do you plan to have the Zoom call for the judges?
I'm working on that probably tomorrow night.
Okay.
Yep, especially for the judges in the 4 contests. I can, you know, I'm opening it up for anybody who wants to join, but for the judges that are in those 4 contests, it's going to be, you know, I need them in the room. I need them to get this training. So if they are a judge, I want them to be on the call.
And I have been asked to help a ballot counter set up their Zoom. So I will be working on that. And so just know that there is also probably a range of experiences with Zoom.
Yes, I know that. Judy, did you put your Zoom doc anywhere yet?
I did. I put it on, let's see. I made a shortcut link on it for it on the
It's
online.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook too, and it looks good.
Yeah, I can post it right now.
Okay, just want to make sure it's out there. There's a Zoom doc that she did. It's very colorful and very interesting and very helpful. You should look at it, because if you have any questions about Zoom, this sort of answers all those questions. It's very nice. So thank you for that. The presentation of the winner, the contest master, what I thought, and you guys can, you know, I'm not sure that this will work out, but the contest master should print out the first, second, and third place paperwork, you know, and when they get the names, those names should be written on those certificates and shown like this is shown for the announcement of the winners. So third place certificate will be shown with the winner's name on it. Second place certificate will be shown with the winner's name on it, and first place will be shown, so that they will actually see a certificate, yay, they're won, and then they will receive their trophy virtual, you know, in the mail following that. So, okay. Thank you for that question. we want you guys to know that you won. We don't want you just to go, oh yay, I won. It's got to be bigger than that. So that's part of it.
Game show big.
That's right. Okay, anybody else?
Yes, is there anything like virtual confetti?
No, I don't think so. Not on Zoom. I wish there was, because that's where I'd put the ribbon or the certificate up. I'd flash it on top of them. They don't have anything like that. So they're not quite ready for Toastmasters. But we are. We'll figure it out. Okay. You guys have a great night. I will post this recording as soon as I can get it downloaded and then uploaded to YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. If you don't know what that is, look at Facebook and look at the District 52. I'll post the link there too. We have a, what's that thing called? Put all the, where all the videos that are on the same subject are together. There's one of those for this. And all of the videos I've trained on are in that one space. They're all
Is that
together.
a specific channel or something?
No, it's got some other name. I'm just losing my head.
Playlist.
Playlist. That's it. Thank you very much. It's a playlist of all the virtual training. This will be in that playlist. So you can watch all of the training. I've said different things in different trainings. So,
So you really should only put on the last couple, time.
yeah, they get shorter and shorter.
Barely.
Yeah, barely. Well, this one's 1 hour and 16. The first one was 2.5 hours. So yeah, they get shorter.
Seriously, did you want Marcia and I to stay in the room and see if we can do this breakout thing?
No, but I will send you a link, the two of you a link with one other person so I can figure this out, okay? Because I don't want it on this one. It'll start recording or something, so.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Thank
So I will
you.
do that.
Thank you, CirceD.
Thank you, CirceD.
Thank
It's
you.
very helpful.
Great job.
Thank
Very
you.
much.
Thank you, Circe. Thank you,
Thank you.
Circe.